Yeah, in the days of old, 5 elements were known: MCing, DJing, graffiti had grown, B-boy and knowledge, the pillars of the game, but a 6th emerged, adding to the flame. Comics and hip-hop, a fusion so tight, visual storytelling, lyrics that ignite, from the pages to the beats, a seamless blend, the 6th element, where 2 worlds transcend. Welcome to the 6th element show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu guided the way, bringing you the culture every day. Welcome to the 6th element show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu.
What up, y'all? 6th Element of Hip Hop. We are finally here. We had some technical issues getting on tonight. It's kind of late, but this is how it is, man. We here, and that's all that matters. Stu, what's good, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm trying to be like you one day, but I'm mad at the same time. But I'm just not showing it.
I mean, it's just a little bit of frustration. That's all, but we get through it. But here's the thing, man. We got a great show tonight, and that's what matters, man. And speaking of great shows, Andor, possibly the worst show Star Wars has ever created, possibly the worst Star Wars project of all time.
I'm starting to agree with you.
No, I'm just fucking.
It's too.
I'm just fucking.
Nah, I need some explaining. I need some explaining, man. And I know you can explain it. Okay. All right, let me break it. Let's just break it down.
We're gonna break it down.
Question number 1. Okay. The planet that they with the spiders. Okay, what material? We know that they're building a Death Star. What are they getting from there that they need for the Death Star?
It's called calcite, I think. It's just a mineral. It's just a thing they use to coat the lenses of some whatever the fuck, right? It doesn't really matter. That's not really the point. It doesn't really matter what they're doing with it. It's the point is that they're getting ready to genocide that whole planet for the mineral, right? So
all right.
Well, yeah, it's just something they use. He said to coat the lenses. That's what he said.
I heard him say that, but I was trying to figure out what lens. Like, is it something for the Death Star? Is something they use for the TIE fighters? Is something they use for Star Destroyers? They never say. They just say that it's just something they use. Slave piece. It's just something they use to coat the lenses. I heard. So they're there, and there's not a big Imperial force there.
Right.
I mean, there's something there, but not like on the planet that Cassian's girlfriend and the people from his planet was on. Not like them.
Yeah.
And my second question is, the wedding that the girl had, Mon Mothma's daughter, what the hell does that have to do with the Death Star?
Oh, okay. I'll break that down for you. But we are talking about episode 4, 5, and 6 tonight. What Stu's referring to, we're gonna talk about real quick, is the episode 3, the big party where they had the wedding. This wedding has been baking since season 1. Yes. And what it's all about is Mon Mothma's daughter is being betrothed to this gangster's son because the gangster wants the power that it's going to give him for son to be married to Mon Mothma, and he's going to, the money he's paying Mon Mothma basically to make this happen is funding the rebellion. And that's why she put her daughter up to fund the fucking rebellion.
Is that why she was mad? Remember they were in the dressing room and she was like, I'm gonna tell you something my mom didn't tell me, and she started crying.
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. She knows it's all bullshit. Yeah, she knows it's all bullshit. That's why she was like, gave her daughter one last time. She's like, you can go ahead and just say fuck it, and you don't want to do it, and I'll back you. She didn't want to tell her why, because that would just blow everything. But yeah, she, hey, but she knows it's to fund the rebellion. It's, it's a greater good kind of thing. But yeah, y'all, Andor is back, and just like that, season 2 is halfway over. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 won't let us rest, and instead march us right along the path of the rebellion with our second time skip, which brings us to Ghorman, its spiders, the rebels, and a tangled web of subterfuge. But that's the deal. It's like Andor, almost every episode or every few episodes is a huge time jump of years, because we got to get up to the point of Rogue One, where this Andor show is going to end. The end of season 2 is literally the beginning of Rogue One. So
also when he's on the planet and he's
right.
talking to the dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. How Rogue One starts off, that's how they're going to end the season, the show, really.
That's
And
dope.
that's dope. But they just dropped episodes 4, 5, and 6 on us. They first gave us episodes 1, 2, and 3. Now they gave us 4, 5, and 6. And 4, 5, and 6 are written by Bo Williamson, who wrote season 1's incredible mid-season Nakina 5 or One Way Out arc, which was great. And Williamson is also writing James Mangold's upcoming Dawn of the Jedi era movie, which we've talked about a couple times, which we're very fucking excited about. That's one of my favorite little comics. And I love ancient Star Wars lore. It's one of my favorite things about Star Wars, and the fact they're doing a movie about it greatly excites me. But the fact that Disney's doing it makes me worry much because you never know where they're going to go with it, what they're going to do to it, how they're going to twist it, and what they're going to try to make it, do. They're trying to mix it with the whole Rey era and everything, which it's 25,000 years ago. It doesn't need to relate to anything that we've ever heard of in Star Wars, because it shouldn't, except for the fact that there are something called the Jedi, not Jedis, the Jedi. The Jedi is J-E apostrophe D-A-I-I, Jedi. And that's what the Jedi come from, but they're not called Jedi yet. They're called the Jedi. And then the whole thing, man, and you get the actual Sith race, which is not the Sith Lords or the Sith of the dark side. It's an actual race of aliens called Sith, and not all of them are dark side users. Many of them are, and that's why the Sith name kind of transcended, and other races adopted that name when they became, a dark side user, because the Sith race was so adept at using the dark side. But we learn all this great shit in Dawn of the Jedi in the comics, so it's very, very exciting. And just the prospect of them doing this in live action, it's very, very cool. But we've seen what they've done. They live action, making live action out of animation is always hard, but making live action out of comics is really hard. But it's just like making a live action of a book, But if his Andor track record is any indication, we can expect, well, he did great things. 4, 5, and 6 were great. These episodes not only show us the cost of the rebellion, but the prize at the end of the tunnel. We see rebels and Imperials alike lying and fighting and scheming, all to come home to each other while knowing that they cannot stay, right? And this isn't, there isn't much I can say without, well, we're going to do spoilers. This is how we get down. That's how we get down. So we are going to do spoilers, but I promise these episodes do not disappoint. The depth of intrigue and slower pacing than last week's premiere feel more like season 1, and makes these episodes make the most of the time that we spend on Ghorman during this year of the rebellion. But yeah, Ghorman, we jump 1 year since last week's 3-episode premiere. Cyril is now working in a Bureau of Standards field office on Ghorman, but secretly taking orders from Dedra and the ISB, the Empire, and who have tasked him with getting in with the rebel cell and the Ghorman front. And so we see the tightrope that he and Dedra have to walk as the Ghormans spy on Cyril, and Cyril reports to Dedra, who in turn is concealing information from him about the Empire's real plan for Ghorman. The fact they're going to basically slaughter everyone. And there's little trust among any of our main characters, so we see this subterfuge kind of permeate into the rebel movement. And while we watch the rebellion ferment on Ghorman, we find another rebel cell on Dakar, which will become the headquarters of the Resistance in the Force Awakens movie. So now they're kind of connecting it there, and so now it's being used by Saw Gerrera, who we get to see in all his youth and glory. So they kind of aged
Forrest
Whitaker down. I couldn't think of it. They aged Forrest Whitaker down, and yeah, I was just watching him yesterday in Godfather of Harlem. It's a dope show where he plays Bumpy Johnson. That's going on right now, season 4, I think we're on. But yeah, Saw Gerrera, who is training his soldiers for a raid to steal the Redonium fuel. which it's some sort of like radiated fuel, some type of toxic fuel. And Wilmon Pack is the kid there, trading him knowledge on how to use a radonium sapping device that he made. And Saw has decided to hold on to him until his people are sure that they can use it without his help. And so the rebellion remains fractured and untrusting, leaving them vulnerable to the Empire, the ISP manipulation, just like Cassian later warns. We see Coruscant heavily prominently in this episode, it just looks amazing, man. I really love the visuals, man. It's a gorgeous show. It makes me feel like how Star Wars should look, and it's a beautiful episode, seen through the safe house windows and the streets where Cassian and Bix live. And by the way, speaking of Bix, I remember we have touched on the fact that the High Republic acts like you smoke death sticks when they know death sticks are like a little vial of liquid that they pour into some drink and drink it, or however they want to ingest it or do the death sticks. And death sticks, we know from the original prequel trilogy, when he says to Obi-Wan, he says, you want to buy some death sticks? And he's like, yeah, go rethink your life. And so we see Bix taking death sticks. Bix on them sticks. Bix on the sticks. Bix on them death sticks. Bix on sticks. Bix on sticks. So that's her actually taking death sticks. I'm just I love this because it's lore. It's just, bringing in shit from other, and if you go on Wikipedia where it's all Disney-fied and they act like nothing is canon, but Disney, but they, if you type it in, you'll see it's Legacy. There's a comic series called Star Wars Legacy where they heavily talk about death sticks because the main character, Cade Skywalker, is an addict, a death stick addict.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Episode 5. That's episode 4. Episode 5, called I Have Friends Everywhere. This episode opens in a way that immediately ratchets up the tension. Instead of the main theme, we hear radio chatter in the beginning, interference that kind of reminds me of the opening from the Clone Wars movie in 2008. And Bix has been stuck in one of Luthen's safe houses, living with Cassian. She continues to dream about Dr. Gorst and his torture, and takes the death sticks to numb the pain, while Cassian leaves for Ghorman on the mission with Luthen. And so while pretending to be a fashion designer, Cassian meets a savior of the Tarkin massacre, actually a reference to the original Ghorman massacre from Star Wars Legends. So they, this is Filoni peppering Legends content in under the nose of Kennedy. And they find the Ghorman front unprepared and unable to succeed in a pitched resistance against the Empire. Real quick, man, I want to address some of these comments real quick, man. Peace to everybody. Shout out to Slade, Ken Davis. Star Wars Andor, good writing, just lacking action. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point. It's definitely a drama for sure. Disney's done pretty good with Lucasfilms. Never going to be George Lucas trilogy. No, man. It has made profit under Disney. Of course, it's Star Wars, that's going to be, even Disney can botch it and and do as shitty as they've done and make a profit. That's how, great. That's how big of a thing Star Wars is. But I mean, Disney, I kid. They're hit or miss. My third favorite Star Wars movie of all time is a Disney Star Wars movie, Rogue One. So I don't shit on Disney Star Wars all the way. And we got Mando season 1, season 2, dude, and Andor. I mean, Andor is phenomenal. I'm excited to see what's going on with Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson killing that. Yeah, man.
Ahsoka's been good so far. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I liked it. A lot of people had their issues. I dug it. I mean, I had issues. If you're a fan of Ezra, you were really pissed off. But Sixth Element of Hip Hop, did you see people on YouTube and Twitter believe the fake leak from My Time to Shine about Superman? Talk about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Talk about it. What happened?
basically, it's the same thing that happened. Well, it's been happening a lot lately. It started with Destiny, then the Superman movie, um, the Thunderbolts movie, but they put out a thing saying that all the what do you call it? The opinions about it are one sided. But the Superman movie, somebody said they leaked it out. People going in looking at it. It was fake. It was just a whole fake. Now how we used to watch the fake trailers, and I used to see those trailers. I used to be like, "Yo, this
Yeah.
real?" And you'd be like, "Nah, still," because I was hyped. I was like, "Yo," you'd be like, "Still, that's not real."
So what
And
was
then
it?
I
It
go
was
back and
it
look
was
at it.
a fake trailer, or so it's supposed to
It
be
was
a clip?
supposedly
What?
the movie was leaked. Like the movie was leaked, but it wasn't the movie. It was fake.
What was it?
It was all fake, man. It was supposed to be the new Superman movie coming out this
But
summer.
what really was it? Obviously, it wasn't a movie. What was it?
Nah, it was just a bunch of like the trailers and different clips of super put together Superman it wasn't even worth watching, bro. I watched a little bit of it and I was like, this is fake. And I shut it right off. I was like,
That's
oh,
sad.
never mind. I just shut it right off.
That's
I was like, nah, this is bad. This is bad comedy. So I left it
bad
alone.
company. Nah.
A lot of people I think did what I used to do, watched it, thought it was real. Um,
And
I was just putting it out there, sending it to
they
people.
started
Like,
talking
yo,
about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was becoming a thing. Like people was like,
You
yo,
got it, man.
The Superman movie is because something
You
leaked
gotta
last
fact check
summer.
your shit.
What was it, Reno? Something leaked last summer, but it was real. Like the way they did it, they did. What was it that leaked last summer? And I didn't watch it at first because I thought it was fake, and then when I actually watched it, oh, Transformers One. They leaked Transformers One online on
Mm,
YouTube. It was on there for like a good, probably about 3 weeks.
mm.
And some days you could catch it, some days you couldn't. And one morning I came home from work and I caught it and I watched the whole thing. And it was, and when I tell you, listen, when I tell you, Rena, it was clear as a whistle, it was clear.
Yeah.
But it was like watching a regular, and it was before the movie came out. And then when the
Yeah.
movie came out, they leaked it again. So I don't know who's doing it.
Oh, it's
Uh,
it's it's bootleggers, man. They're leaking them. They rip them. They get the DVD leak. They get the file and shit. It's not always going to be a camera in a theater. Sometimes bootleggers get the actual file, and that's why it be crispy HD right off the bat. I can go pull up HD movies that are in the theater right now. I got Locked, looking like HD. I got Freaky Tales. Oh, if y'all ain't seen Freaky Tales yet, you're not hip hop fans. Dog, that
yeah,
shit is
it,
fire. Freaky Tales is
yeah,
about the 80s, Oakland, Too Short, and Too Short, like a Too Short show, and like, but Pedro Pascal's in it. It's a whole, it's like a anthology movie with three separate like tales in it. And so if you know Too Short, he's got a song called Cocktails where he's like, these are the tales, the freaky tales. These are the
tails,
tales
yes.
that I tell so well. So he the movie's called Freaky Tales, man. But check that shit out, it's fire. Sinners is another one that's good. I had a lot of fun. Sinners was great. I had more fun watching Freaky Tales, and I loved Sinners. So if that helps.
Everybody talking about
Casual Toy
sinners right now.
Collector. Sinners was fire, bro. It's harder now
It
because
was.
files are from the server, right? They don't have physical copies anymore in theaters. You know what I'm saying? They just get the digital joint. It's not a film reel that they have to steal or anything. The server sends the file, play it, whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's it. So all they have to do is intercept that file in some way, and there you go. It's
Yeah,
over.
because I don't know how they did it with Transformers One, but somebody intercepted that file and got it and leaked it. And we were watching it on YouTube. Everybody was watching it. I think that's why it didn't do so well in the theaters because a lot of people just punching it up on YouTube. It came up.
Yeah.
Like whoever did it, they did it really, really clever because they would take it down and then they would put it back up. It would be up
Yeah.
for like a day or two, and then they would take it down, and then finally they put it up, and then you just couldn't get it anymore. But normally YouTube flags that, like you watching it or whatever, or they'll shut that down. I don't know why
Yeah.
they didn't or how they did it, but they put that up there, and they were saying that was the same thing happened with Superman, but it's not. It wasn't leaked. It was just some bull crap.
Yeah.
And if but here's my thing too. And this is me just playing devil's advocate. Like everybody does. Um, I personally think maybe they did it like Transformers 1, and maybe like a few people got to watch it, and that was it. And then they took it down, and that was it. And then whatever else they had up there or put up, it just wasn't it.
Hmm.
Um, but that's just me just being speculative. But I really
All
don't think
right.
it's the. I think James Gunn still has it under wraps, and it's not. But
Well, no, it's not.
somebody,
It's not a question. We know it's fake now.
yeah, but it is fake. What I saw was fake.
Yeah, we know it's fake now for sure. That's no
Yeah, what I
question,
saw was
man.
fake.
But we do have some good information about Superman for you guys in a minute here. We're going to talk about. I also got some cool information about what do you call it? Ahsoka, Fantastic Four, Avengers Doomsday, Thunderbolts, even Blade if we get to it. Some new shit. But for the people that came to see about Andor, man, we're gonna bust it up real quick here. Bix has been stuck out here doing death sticks and all of that. We see Cyril continue to make a show of his distaste for the ISB, which integrates him with the Ghorman front. You know, the Ghormans are the guys with the spiders and the minerals and all of that, and so they've got their own rebel front, and Cyril has infiltrated it. And so the ISB kind of altered his file to make that story believable. And the rebels trust him to get shipping schedules so they could steal Imperial weapons. And Cyril seems to, relish the spycraft and feeling useful to the Empire, which may come between him and Deidre when he realizes that he only knows part of the truth and has been, party to something truly evil, truly fucked up
Like
and
his mother, right?
despicable
Like his
on
mother was
Gorman.
telling him, right? Like his
Right.
mother was telling him that he didn't want to believe her.
Tried to told him. She tried to told him.
Yeah,
Fucking on Ghorman, Cassian gets to lean into a very Luthen-like performance, pretending to be an artist without a care in the galaxy while he lectures the Ghormans on their sloppy tactics and long odds. Saw Gerrera tests the loyalty of his man Wilmon and kills him for treason, leaving only Wilmon to take up his place and steal the fuel for Saw. And during the theft, Saw tells tells of his time in a prison camp and like little war story, and presumably during the Clone Wars. And while claiming the rhydonium fumes are his sister, reminding Clone Wars fans of his actual sister, Stila Gerrera, who's in the Clone Wars, who died fighting the Separatists. Saw convinces Wilmon to take off his mask and breathe the fumes, embracing the fire of revolution. He says, revolution is not for the sane. He said, we'll all be dead before this republic is back. He said, we are the thing that explodes when there's too much friction in the air. And Saw's a revolutionary. He's Saw Gerrera. He's like what's that dude? Che Guevara, right? So he's like Saw Gerrera. He's Che Guevara, right? So he's a revolutionary, and he knows it's going to kill him, just like it killed his sister. But like Cassian and Luthen, he's willing to die fighting. All these dudes are willing to die for the rebellion, willing to die to kill the Empire, and not giving them what they want. And he knows that he will. He says, burn for his life. He said, will burn his life for a sunrise he will never get to see. Right? He's basically what he's saying is like, I'll die for something that when it finally happens, I'll be already dead. But so I won't get to really see it, but I'll be making it happen. And so the zeal and commitment is what connects these parts of the early rebellion, and will lead them to coalesce in the future. And we all know Saw Gerrera again meets up in Rogue One. And the environments and set design of Ghorman, Coruscant, Dakar, more planets was immaculate in this episode. Again, the visuals just fucking totally stunning, paired with some incredible shots of Saw's ships leaving Dakar with similar shot composition to Rogue One. So it looks very, and as they rush into the revolution, and we know violence is coming, and our characters are turning to embrace it. And it's sort of like an ending, to Rogue One almost. But episode 6 is called What a Festive Ending, and Cassian is replaced on Ghorman with Val and Cinta, and Val, who they reconcile their differences and rekindle their romance, and so they realize that Cassian and Bix, that to Luthen, they are worth more to him separately than together, but believe it's time for things to change. And Luthen wants Ghorman in open rebellion. A planet of wealth and status resisting would shake the Empire and inspire other lesser planets or other more important planets. And Ghorman's a very wealthy, very famous, very renowned sort of planet. And so if they drop into open rebellion, what's that saying? That's saying, that we can join. And so Cassian focused on their actual success, not what them trying to rebel would mean for the cause. And Luthen disagrees. And so craving that conflict, which fuels the rebellion, and Cassian's caution is obviously warranted, right? He's, the ISB planting seeds of the rebellion that would justify, their cracking down hard. So both that manipulation and Luthen's gasoline gasoline on the fire is sure to see the Ghorman, combust, giving both the Empire and Luthen exactly what they really want, which is war. And Clea and Luthen realizing that they need to replace a bug that they placed in Davos Scudlin's collection during his upcoming party, where Imperials and high society types will sort of mix and rub elbows with in a series of balls and banquets to honor the swearing in of new Imperial senators. And speaking of senators, we got a few brief scenes of my spirit animal Mon Mothma in the previous episodes, doing her thing, hitting shots and breaking it down to the EDM. So she's trying to get the public order resentencing directive, or PORD, which landed Cassian in prison last season. Which is, remember, he just got 6 years. Wow, you know what I mean? And so she goes to Davos Sculdun's party with Perrin and runs into Bail Organa, who was recast, sadly, and now played by actor Benjamin Bratt, not Jimmy Smits, which Benjamin Bratt's cool. I'm down with that. I'm not mad really at Benjamin Bratt being in it. That's pretty cool. I really wasn't a big fan of Jimmy Smits until Dexter. So if y'all remember that show Dexter, he was he played who was it? He played Hector? Oscar. Yeah, he played the dude. And so but he played Bail Organa in the prequels. He was Leia's, adopted father. And so they recast him with this dude who I know from Blood In, Blood Out and a gang of shit since. But that dude there is now Bail Organa. Now the guy that adopts Princess Leia and raises her. That's the new actor. So be cool to see some new shit with them. But Bail is not the only familiar person at this event. Dr. Krennic shows up, played by my man Ben Mendelsohn, one of my favorite new actors, and so he grills Mon Mothma while they are dragged around Sculdun's collection, and Clea retrieves the bug with the help of Lonnie, the dude from ISB, the turncoat. And so this all boils in palpable tension as the episode sort of juxtaposes the drama on Coruscant with the raid happening on Ghorman. And like Cassian warned, it ends in tragedy. As an untrained Ghorman rebel shoots Cinta and gives the Imperials the start of the violent rebellion that they wanted on Ghorman. Vel confronts the Ghorman who killed Cinta and says, "This is on you now. This is like skin. She was everything that you have daydreamed about." And so we end the episode with Bix and Cassian on Coruscant, and Bix enters Dr. Gorst's office, tortures him with the same audio he used on her, and they blow up the building, presumably killing him and hopefully bringing Bix a measure of closure and justice. And like Gorst said in Bix's dream at the start of the episode, everyone has their own rebellion. And yeah. But these episodes, I think, yet another example of how perfectly this show moves, slowly building up tension in multiple places until we hit a boiling point and experience catharsis. The creators, the cast, the crew of Andor are truly putting on a masterclass every week. This is how Star Wars should be. I mean, we were kids when Star Wars came out. It was 1978. You probably saw it when I saw it the first time probably Return of the Jedi. Like the third one I was old enough because I was born in 79. I was 1 year old when the first movie came out. And now we've grown up. We in our 40s and 50s. There's fans in their 60s and 70s. My dad was a fan. He was in his 20s when it came out. So we grown up. So we need some grown up content. They keep saying Star Wars is for kids, Star Wars is for kids. They keep making fucking kid shows and kid this and kid that. And it's like, cool, yeah, Star Wars is for kids. Okay. But what about us? What about us who have been lifelong fans and have grown up with it? Like, this is for us. This is Star Wars for the grown-ups. And my thumbnail is obviously a satire. This is not the worst project that Star Wars has ever made. It's easily the best project I think Disney's ever had anything to do with. As for Star Wars. But just to touch on Ghorman and what's to come, this massacre. Ghorman itself reminds me of a nicer Ferrex, right? Where the whole shit went down with a stubborn population that takes pride in their craft and in every brick that makes up their city. And so, like Ferrex from episode 1, we know this is bound to explode with rebellion. And we see the disparate parts clash while the rebellion and the Empire inch towards conflict with similar goals and methods. And they understand each other. And more importantly, our characters understand their role in the war to come. Like Luthen, they're all firmly committed to their course of action and bound for war. And, which we all know will birth the rebellion as we know it. And Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and the Death Star blowing up. And I'm glad these episodes, took their time and let us sit with this path that we move along. And, this is not, like I said, man, this is a show. This is like if you really this is like a real show. This could easily be any HBO show like Sopranos or 6 Feet Under or The Wire or whatever the fuck, right? This could be regular drama. Like it's that well made. You can't say that. The reason I say you can't say that about any other Disney show.
No.
On Disney Plus, you can't say that. Like all them, even the Marvel ones, as good as they are, and as much money as they blew on them, they still don't look and feel like something that I think could sit on HBO. Whereas Penguin did. Shout out to DC. So Cinta dies. I don't know how I feel about Cinta's death. I think her appearance was handled well. It was a good to see her and Val reconcile, and since they kind of forgot about the character of Val, if that was someone you were into, and they understand their place in the rebellion. But I think that her death felt obligatory rather than shocking or earned. And I worry that in our progress towards Rogue One, we will kill off every single character by virtue of them not being in that movie, rather than because it was entirely necessary. Like they don't necessarily have to be in the movie. They just might not have been around. And so I'm interested to see however this is going to affect Vale. And, through, I think Cinta's time this season was perhaps too short and was likely due to actress Varada Sutha's time in the filming of the new Doctor Who show, which is going down. So, and with that, we're halfway done with season 2. Like that's it. It's halfway over now. And so if you haven't already, make sure to catch up on our episode last week about episodes 1, 2, 3, because we broke them down for y'all back. Then we'll do that every Wednesday as long as the show is pop-a-lacking. But one thing we did learn about DC Superman, man, that's the villain right there.
Yeah, but who is he? Is it Meteor Man from the last Superman movie with Christopher Reeve?
So this is an Amazon product listing which showed it gives us, I think, the first head to toe full look at Superman's villain Ultraman. They're calling it Ultraman, but we know it's not fucking Ultraman, like not my Ultraman, not head of the fucking cartel, gangster Godfather Ultraman, because he don't look nothing like Superman, which Ultraman does. It is Superman just with a big U on his chest. But the character,
he dressed like Doomsday.
Doomsday?
Yeah, remember when Doomsday first appeared? He had those goggles like that, and he was covered in that whole suit. And then the Superman was ripping it off him, and that's when we see what he really looked like.
Isn't Doomsday the big monster with all the rocks coming out of him and shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's dressed like Doomsday to me. The dude, the villain, he's
Oh, I
dressed like
thought
that.
Doomsday was pretty much naked, like a monster.
Nah, when he first came, he was tied. He was like tied to like this meteor, and it fell
Mm.
on Earth. And then he came. He got. I guess of course he got free, but he had this green, and I think it was like an off yellow costume on. You couldn't see none of his skin, none of his body, and he had these
Mm.
goggles. And as him and Superman was fighting, and the suit started tearing, you got to see like like the bone coming out of his skin and all of that, and then finally the whole thing just ripped off, and got to see what he looked like.
Yeah. Well, this is like I said, it's a marketing piece. It's been in several marketing pieces for the film thus far, but this is the first time we have a full head to toe, straight up image of it, because we've seen a lot of pictures of this guy in the movie and in the trailers, but never just a full on. Here's what he looks like, and we don't really know who he is other than Ultraman and who that is, and who they'll be played by, or that or how they really factor into the plot or anything. But the character popped up in an official activity book for Superman. It shows the masked villain in a skin tight suit, not all that different from Superman's, floating with his arms spread wide. So when I look at the markings on the suit, they match the markings and design of Superman's suit. It's just a different color. And if you look, Stu, I'm a little bit excited. That's a U on his chest,
That is a you. I
and
see
that's
it. That is a
Superman's
you.
suit. This is Ultraman. This is literally
I'll take
Ultraman.
it. Listen, I'll take it.
Yep, it has round goggles, a purple tint, and a metallic U splayed across the chest, obviously for Ultraman. And it's the same like pattern as Superman's suit. And so Ultraman's been teased in little bits and pieces, along with the rest of the villains and stuff. We've seen him in trailers and background photos and shit like that. But here's like a better picture of just him like in live action. Here's a real shot of him, and you can see. I mean, I didn't get it at first. I was like, oh man, that's not Ultraman. Like that's not. And the more I look at it, it's like, oh shit, that's fucking. It is Superman's suit. It is Superman's suit, just like Ultraman's suit is Superman's suit, and it's got a U. That's a U on his chest. And if you're like, what do you mean that's Superman's suit? Well, if you look at the DCU Superman's costume, it's got a bunch of like line work and shit all over it, like to make it look futuristic or whatever. And
Yeah, it
these are
does.
all, and these are all in the
Same
exact
line
same
work.
place. Yeah,
Yeah, it is with you. Yeah.
yeah. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I can't
If
listen.
they have
I can't
Ultraman
wait
has
for
to be
this.
a multiverse. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Earth 2, or Earth 3 or whatever it is. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. We don't know much about it except for that his name is Ultraman. He's got the suit that looks like Superman's, and he's got the U on it. This is Ultraman, real quick, and it's a very similar U, really.
Yeah, it is.
So check this out. What I just got.
Adam Warlock is hard.
Bro, I'm super happy. I've been wanting Adam Warlock for so long. Hold on, let me get
Adam
that shit.
Warlock is hard.
He's got the Infinity Gauntlet comic. Hold on, it's gonna focus. There you go. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet comic and the actual Infinity Gauntlet. And what's dope about the Gauntlet, bro? This, I don't know if anybody's really peeped this yet.
I'm trying.
The
It's got all the
Gauntlet.
stones in it.
Yeah, it's got all this. It's got all the stones in it. Look, the hand pops off just like a regular hand, and then it's got this piece that goes right here. So you know what I'm thinking? Anybody can hold the Gauntlet, son. Watch this. This is just a theory. I don't know if it's gonna fit on him or what, if it's gonna work or not. Let's see. Oh shit. Magnus. Magnus with all the power.
Yeah.
So if you buy the Adam Warlock Marvel Legends, you will have a Marvel Legends Infinity Gauntlet to pass around to whatever character you want.
That's hard.
That
is hard.
That's dope.
That is dope.
That's dope. And finally, the OG. You know what I'm saying? I love this version, this iteration of Adam Warlock. He looks, he looks just like the comic, and so much so that they actually include the comic.
That's hard, man. Now, did he come with another hand you can stick on there?
Yeah. He's got a red hand. You can take it off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got a red. He's got a red hand. You could put the red hand on when you take the glove off of him and shit. But yeah, Adam's gonna definitely rock the glove. And obviously all figures aren't gonna have a forearm that's that width. But as long as the figure, forearm is basically the same width, then you can slide that glove right on there. And that's super cool that he comes with a gauntlet for Marvel Legends. It's a Marvel Legends gauntlet right there for anybody to wear. But you can check out the unboxing for that character and review that figure rather. I'll be posting that maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight. I don't know. Most likely Lex Luthor is making superheroes like his Ultraman and Metamorpho. Yes, that's what I think too. I think they're acting like he's brought him in from the other planet that he's from. That he, fucking with like multiversal teleportation or whatever, portals rather. He's got the portal and he brings Ultraman over or some shit. It's kind of how they make it seem. But yeah, this here's an article right here talking about Ultraman. Let's see. It may be a stretch, but fans might have to look to the DC multiverse to learn more about the character's origins. In the comics, Ultraman is an evil variant of Superman from another reality, and there he is. There's a chance to take down the Man of Steel. Lex Luthor ripped a hole in reality, coming into contact with this alternate villainous Superman. He then may have employed Ultraman to help in his quest to take down Superman, using him as the muscle, while Lex remains the brains of the operation, which is totally Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, yep.
The tactic would make sense, as without his iconic power armor, Lex has long been unable to contend with Superman physically. Yeah, and we now know we have actual, imagery of Lex wearing that power armor, so he's gonna have that power armor. We showed you that in a previous video of ours. So, yeah, bro.
Which is what we want to see.
It's gonna be ill time. Other than that, man, so we got the Russo brothers reveal the official Avengers Doomsday behind the scenes footage. So actual footage. Check it out. Victor Vaughn. Wait, where's the footage? Come on, man, don't lie to me now. It remains to be seen if the Russo brothers, despite their struggles. If I was a betting man, Joe Shower, the first. Come on, man, where's the thing? Filmmakers put set photos. When it was put to the filmmakers that set photos could spoil some of the biggest moments of the fans, Joe said, "We're pretty good about shutting that down. And we've sort of strategized, hopefully, be effective with that. We don't want people getting photographs. We're being strategic." Hold on, man. Russo brothers reveal first official Avengers Doomsday behind the scenes photo with a Victor Von Doom tease. So you know what that is? That's called clickbait, ladies and gentlemen.
Clickbait, yeah, it is clickbait.
This is what they're talking about. That's the behind the scenes image of Doom. There you go. That's their behind the scenes fucking what they call it, tease photo. That's their behind the scenes photo with the tease for Doom. I don't get the point. We already know fucking Doom's in
Because
it.
that, you know what, that's all they ever show. So they like,
Oh, you
there's
know,
one, they only show the chairs like they show Ant-Man. They
yeah,
showed everybody's gonna be in the next movies,
but
and they
this kind
remember they
of
had the row with chairs, and they had everybody's name on the back, and they had the
yeah,
super
yeah,
little one for Ant-Man.
yeah.
So we already know this, but this, come
Well,
on,
but
stop.
see, I don't think he put Doom yet, and this tells us that it's not a Tony Stark variant; that it's actually Victor Von Doom that
Oh,
Robert
that don't
Downey's
have to.
playing. I think
I've been
that's.
saying that. I've been thinking that for the longest. I don't
Oh
think it's
yeah,
Tony Stark. I don't think it's a
but I
variation.
think this
I
is the
think it's just,
confirmation.
yeah, yeah. I just think it's Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom. I
Yeah,
really do, and I hope
yeah.
so. I hope
Well, that's
that's
what
what
they're
it is.
saying.
Yeah, I hope
That's
he's
what they're
playing a
saying,
whole nother character. Yeah, and I'm down with that. Because
and he can.
remember in oh, you never watched it. And Flash, they will have the same people
I saw
play
Flash.
the TV series.
Oh no. I thought you
Yeah,
meant the
well, they would
movie.
have. Yeah, they would have the same people play. Like the guy that played the original Thorn, he played different characters in the Flash TV series, but it was the same person, but he played different characters, and that's what we got here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. And there's other actors that have played other multiple characters. I mean, Chris Evans, like that's so. If Chris Evans can do it, Robert Downey Jr. can. And the thing is Robert Downey Jr. can actually pull it off to the point where you won't even know that's fucking him.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean,
I
you'll
can't
know
wait
it's
to see.
him, but you won't know it's him. Like he'll disappear into that role.
Yeah. Plus, he said he doesn't want to come back as Iron Man. He doesn't want to. He said Iron Man is dead. Tony Stark is dead. That's good. That's cool in his book. He
Yeah.
said he's okay with it. He doesn't want to refurbish, replenish, or revitalize the role in any way. He said he think it was done well the way it was done.
This is coming out. Death of Silver Surfer with a dope ass Galactus
That's
cover.
a dope ass Galactus.
Oh yeah. Silver Surfer fights alone. The Silver Surfer hated and feared by very humans that his heart longs to aid. Duels an array of the rivals hell bent on his utter annihilation. But in their hubris and greed for untapped power, humanity awakens an ancient threat born of the Surfer's old master, Galactus. And so the Surfer must persist for the sake of both friend and foe, for the good of the Earth and the entire universe. Mind-bending cosmic threat unlike anything you've seen before. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Death of the Silver Surfer #1. Whoa. Here we go. That's hard.
That is.
Cosmic shit. I fuck with it.
Big time.
Now, check this out. Thunderbolts early reviews overwhelmingly one-sided. Now, do you think it's overwhelmingly one-sided that is good or that is bad?
I'm gonna see it and review it for myself. Because to be honest with you,
No.
I'm interested in
But I
seeing
mean,
this
what do
movie.
you think that they're saying? You think you think the reviewers are overwhelmingly agreeing that it's good or bad? Like, what
I
do you
think
think?
they'll say this. Given past Marvel projects, I think they're gonna say it's bad. Actually, nah, I'll take that back. I think they're gonna say it's good because they like all these characters. A lot of the commercial people like these characters. So to put them all together in one movie, this is like a fanfare for them.
You're absolutely
For the
right
casual,
because
for the casual audience.
you're absolutely right because if it was a normal Marvel movie, they'd be saying it's bad. What they're literally saying about it is that it's not a normal Marvel movie, and they love it. They love it.
See?
It says the reviews for Thunderbolts are coming out, and everyone seems to be saying the same thing. For fans tired of the same old thing in Marvel movies, this is one that breaks the mold of recent failures. It's a great flick with a big heart, and most of the credit goes to the cast who elevate the material above the usual superhero movie fare. Which I knew it was going to be. It looked very different. It looked like something new, and I was excited, and this just kind of makes me even more excited for it. It says one of the main common threads throughout the reviews is that Thunderbolts is, as Liz Shannon Miller of Consequence calls it, a breath of fresh air. She also writes that it is a notable step forward for the MCU as a whole, which is pretty remarkable given that this cast of characters, where the literal point is that they're loose ends left adrift. Yeah, basically she's saying they're supposed to be like drop shots but that's what we love. That's what people love. People love the underdog because it reminds us of us. It's like shit that, if the underdog can do it, we can do it. And that's why people love the underdog. And that's what Thunderbolts are, man. And it says, likewise, Linda Merrick of Hey You Guys calls the film a gritty, chaotic, and sometimes uneven return to the best of the old MCU. It is thrilling and heartfelt. Best of all, it proves Marvel can still surprise us when it stops trying to please everyone and leans into the weirdness. Some critics weren't.
We've been saying that for years.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah. Some critics weren't in love with Thunderbolts as much as others, but still gave credit for surpassing other recent Marvel films. And that's what's important to me. I don't give a shit if you liked it or not. If it's different than what they've been doing since Endgame, I'm happy. Empire Magazine's John Nugent, for example, writes that the film doesn't always land, but it dares to be different. From the title to the team up, fresh and thoughtful in a way recent Marvel efforts haven't always managed. Yeah, similarly, Donald Clark of the Irish Times says, it's a shame that the project feels filmsier than the average TV show pilot, but after the catastrophe that was the Captain America Brave and the Bold, one can celebrate something that at least has a middle between its beginning and its end. Nothing else. Hey, he was from the fucking Irish Times. If nothing else is agreed, that was that even an Irish? I might have been Scottish. If nothing else is agreed upon by most critics, is that the best of the reason to see Thunderbolts is Florence Pugh's portrayal of Yelena Belova. It said, if it ultimately works, it's all due to Pugh, who can wrestle sincerity out of a screenplay and a franchise, and has so little capturing a whole emotional arc in just her moments of silence. Boy, this guy is on the hairs. He is swinging from the short and curlies of Pugh. Now, Vulture's Allison Wilmore agrees, writing, Pugh, in particular, gives the movie an emotional tangibility that makes it feel realms more solid than the last few years of Marvel product. Man, if nothing else, they are saying that it is different than what we've been getting. And that's really all we ask for.
That is all we ask for.
Some got to give, some got to change. Some got to give, some got to change. Now, man, we look at this.
Change is always going to be at the top of the box. One of Blade's crew members just explained what the reboot would have been, and now I want it more than ever.
Oh,
This
man.
is a hurt piece. You know what? We know this is a hurt piece because we were all looking forward to this Blade movie. Even with the new casting of Blade, we were just all looking forward to it. We didn't know what the story is going to be about. Anything. We just wanted them to make a good Blade movie, and we never got it. So this guy, like he must have got like what I got with the Black Panther movie. They must have explained the script, and he just was like, "Damn, why didn't they do this?" Sometimes we just have problems with actors and scheduling, producers. The biggest thing that we will have,
bro. Listen,
go ahead.
They said Blade was meant to be a period piece set in the 1920s. Huh? Like Sinners? She said, I was prepping Blade for Marvel, and it was this is the costume designer, Ruth E. Carter. Was a guest on the John Campea show where she revealed that she was hired to work on the costumes for Blade. She says, I was prepping Blade for Marvel, and it was a 1920s Blade story. And it got shut down because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike. I was just in limbo. having done a lot of research for this period piece about a vampire. Man, Carter's only comments only make me want to see Blade hit the big screen, even if it has to go through a few changes. Man, a period piece, bro, for Blade, a 1920s joint. That could have been crazy. Interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, first of all, what I would have preferred if they're gonna do a period piece, do a 70s blaxploitation period piece, because that's what Blade
Yeah, that
fucking
would be
came
better.
out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That would have been
that'd have been better. Yeah, that'd have been awesome.
oh,
Yeah, that'd have been better. But
but
I mean, this might have been good enough to watch. This might have
yeah,
been one of those things we watch and,
we
and
was
we
gonna
and
watch
we and
whatever
we
they did.
and we mess with it. Yeah, we mess with it. We like, all right, we can get with this.
Oh,
So
look, they said the same thing. The idea of a 1920s horror film involving vampires is the same setup as Sinners, Ryan Coogler's horror epic. What if that's why they scrapped it? What if they were like, they did all this work and making this movie, and then they found out Coogler was coming out with Sinners, and they were like, damn, we can't even do it now.
it would
That
be a
would be
conflict of
ass.
interest. And it might not even go
Yeah,
over as well because then Sinners is so big right now, people wouldn't watch Blade. They'd be
bruh.
like,
They
oh,
would,
why you do
yeah.
that? You put Blade, he
It
wasn't
would have
in the
been played as
1920s ever.
a cheap ripoff
Yeah,
of
cheap
Sinners.
knockoff. Yeah, Sinners. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
ooh. We just cracked the code. This is the real reason why Blade fucking got shut down, bro. No one's talking about it.
yeah.
You heard it here
But you know
first.
what, Reno? Yeah, you did hear it here first. But you know what, Reno? That means that Blade will be slaying vampires another day. They're just gonna come out with another movie. They're gonna
Yeah.
rewrite it. They're gonna redo it, recast it. Wesley Snipes said that they haven't approached him yet as playing Blade, even though
Nah,
I think they should approach him as playing Blade because Blade
Blade
ages
made it.
like a human. You
Yeah.
don't need a young actor to play Blade. You just need Wesley Snipes to do a good job at playing Blade like he did in the Deadpool movie. But we're not gonna talk about
That's tragic, man. That's tragic, man.
that. That is tragic, man.
What they talking about?
Hey, they might as well just give us Batgirl. If we can't get Blade, just give us Batgirl. Somebody leak up. Somebody leak. Y'all gonna leak anything with like Superman? Like y'all all week when y'all been messing with me. Leak
Hmm.
Batgirl.
Hmm.
Damn. Do us all
Yeah.
a favor and leak Batgirl. You gonna leak something?
Yeah.
Leak Batgirl.
If
Give
anyone
us something.
has that footage, man, please release that
Leak
shit.
that. Yeah, leak that. Yeah, you guys want to leak Superman? Leak Batgirl. Damn it.
One day, man. One day.
Yeah, one day we're gonna see it.
Yeah, man. Turning Jarvis into Vision was very smart. I mean, what are you gonna do? And I don't know why Matt Mighty Rax brought that up, but Vision, they're gonna have some more Vision shit soon, like a Vision show, I think. Slade said he already got his ticket for Thunderbolts already. Different is what we want. It's what we want, man. We just want something different. But this Blade joint, man, that's pretty crazy. We just cracked the code. The reason they did not make the Blade movie is because of fucking Coogler's Sinners.
Sinners.
I was not,
Hey,
and I'll
Sinners
tell you something. I'll give you. I want to confess something.
Go ahead.
I was not a fan of Coogler.
No.
Black Panther, I was like, like dead up. Not a fan of Black Panther. It wasn't a great movie. Just gonna be honest. It wasn't that good. Brian Coogler's style and everything that I really don't like about his style is what I love about Sinners. It's what makes Sinners work. Sinners is the movie Coogler was born to make. It's why he got into Hollywood. It's where I think his style works. Bro, there's a scene. I'm gonna give you a big ass spoiler right now. If you haven't seen Sinners, close your ears, because this shit is just dope.
No, I saw it.
Oh, you want me to tell you? I won't tell you.
No, tell me.
Oh, you saw it? You saw it? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I spun it up on the fire stick.
Bro, the scene where fucking they're in the juke joint and everybody's dancing and that shit starts going through the time portals and you start seeing hip hop versions of people. You see the DJ, you see the dude breakdancing. You remember that scene?
Yeah. You seen the people. They went back to tribal times.
They went to tribal times. They had a girl from the 2000s twerking. They had
Yeah.
a dude with like a Kango and 80s breakdancing in the middle. They had like a late 70s hip hop DJ, turntables and shit. And it just blended all because this is like an old school, old timey, turn of the century juke joint in the deep south, you know. No, and and like just the camera just panning in like a circle, like going around, and as it goes around and like scans the fucking crowd, you see, bro. I was literally, bro. I was literally like fucking yelling at the TV, bro. That shit was amazing. I don't know what struck me so hard about it. I was just like, wow, that was just brilliant, bro. That was just genius, and just I don't know, being a hip hop head is something, but the whole movie itself, it was like a Get Out, kind of like a horror movie commentary on racism, on white oppression. You had the white vampires and shit coming to poach the the artist, the young kid that was the guitarist. They wanted to use him to attract other. Stu, are you talking? Oh, they wanted to use him to attract more people from more black people to like Pied Piper them and shit. You know what I'm saying, on some ill shit, to turn them into vampires in the movie. But it's a commentary on like Jewish or white, we'll say, record label. You know what I mean? All of that. It's man, it's deep as fuck. It's not just a vampire movie. I'll tell you that. It's definitely not just a
No,
vampire.
it definitely is not just a vampire. You're right about that. Because it was more than what I thought it was gonna be. It talks about a lot of stuff,
Vampires
man.
are
Like,
only really in the end.
yeah, it goes over a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Like the brothers went to World War I. And you gotta and see, this is the thing about it, you have to
And they
really
worked
pay
for Al
attention to the
Capone.
dialogue. And they work for who was it? Al Capone and it was somebody else. And the thing that they did was, because they were twins, each
Yeah.
side thought that they only worked for them. And they were
Mm.
robbing both sides, but the both sides couldn't prove it. So they went
Yeah.
into a war and killed
Yeah.
each other. And then the twins just scooted out of there with money, liquor, and
Mm-hmm.
everything they wanted. Oh, who was the
Yeah.
other mobster? It was the Irish mob. It was the Irish mob versus Al Capone, and that's what or the Italian mob. It was the Italian mob versus, and that's
EGC
why they
salute.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Right.
why they left
Yeah. It
Chicago,
was
because they had
Chicago.
started a whole war. Yeah, they
Yeah.
started a whole war between them two, and they would look at each other and be like, "Yeah, that's." They'd be like, "Well, he wasn't the one that run because he was here with us. It couldn't have been
Yeah.
him because he was here with us." And then it wasn't him, but the whole while they never knew that they were
Smokestack
twins.
twins.
Yeah, the smokestack twins.
Smokestack twins. Smoking stack.
Yeah,
Yeah. And Stack. So both of them, like they had one of them with like a red hat, like he was more red and more clean and shit, and then the other dude, he had like blue on, and he was more low key. The red dude, Marshall Ward Path, salute, war, yes sir, um,
yeah.
bro.
And then the biggest thing that it explored was
Oh, shout
Sammy's
out to
blues
Marshall
music.
Warpath. Dope scene in the centers where the Indians come up, the Native Americans come up,
Oh yeah. They were
chasing the
like, yo, that man is
vampire.
dangerous. They were the vampire
Word.
hunters. Yeah,
They
they
were the
were the
vampire
vampire hunters.
hunters because they
Yeah,
knew
they were hunt. They
they knew
knew.
about
Yeah,
the cat.
they knew about vampires, and they knew. Yeah,
Yeah,
and dude was
yeah,
scared of him. He was running from him, like, yo, these jokers is tearing me up. So
yeah.
he did, and the guy said, he said, whatever you do, I hope you ain't invite him in your home. But they knew that they did. They knew it. But the guy
Yeah,
said it. He said,
it was
look,
a
we gotta
rap
go.
then. Yeah, he's
Baby
like,
said,
yo,
look, we gotta
man.
go. Yeah, remember the younger
And they
Indian
seen
guys
the
was like, look, we
Klan
gotta
hood.
go.
They
Yeah, he
peeped
said
the
because they
Klan
knew they
hood.
could. Yeah,
They
and he
peeped the
said we
Klan
can't fight
hood.
him at night.
Spoiler alert.
Yes, remember? Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, and then you got to remember, Sammy's blues music is presented as a powerful force that can
Mm,
pierce the veil between life and death and
right.
connect people to the past, the present, and the future. And that's what we were talking about with the dancing and everybody. They were showing the different DJs, people twerking and all that. And remember when the
Yeah.
vampire came, he was like, "Yo, I heard you singing, and
Yeah.
I want that." And he
He
was like, but he
wanted him.
knew if I bite you, I'm gonna get all that, and then I'll be able to do what you do. I'll be able to get more people. I'll be able to
Yeah.
do, I'll be able to take because it was
Well,
all
no,
about willpower.
he was like, I can't just take your shit because they won't follow me. He's like, I need
No,
you. He was gonna turn
yes,
him into a vampire and bring him into the fold because they're like that hive mind, and he wanted to use him as like a Pied Piper. You know what I'm saying?
yes, he did. Yeah, yeah, to attract other people,
To attract
and
more
it would
people.
have worked, and it would have worked. And it's
Yeah.
also about free will. The whole thing was about free will too, because
Right.
the vampire took everybody's free will. They all did his bidding, which in the end, which people don't explain, is when Stack and the girl survived, how they weren't as evil they was when they met up with
Mm.
Reese in the future, because
Mm-hmm.
the other vampire had died, so they had their own free will after that. They could do whatever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
that's the difference. They had to follow the head vampire, or whoever turned them. Whoever turned them, they had to follow that vampire,
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
Right.
So once they killed him, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Yeah.
Good movie though, man. Good movie. You haven't seen it? Go
Oh
see it.
yeah.
Um, it is excellent, an excellent movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's at the end, bro. Bro, the ending is crazy, bro. I ain't gonna spoil it. I don't know. I think everybody's seen it by now, but that shit was
Nah,
dope.
maybe some scragglers out there, Reno.
That shit was
There's some
dope.
people that just wait for it to come on video.
Yeah.
But it's definitely it's going to blow up on video. When it goes to video, it's definitely going to blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
going to blow up.
Stack gets bit by he becomes a vampire and shit. I don't know. There's a whole scene that I can't.
Supposedly, Reno, it's going to be a TV show. They're going to make a TV series out of it too.
Oh, word.
So
That'll be
yeah, so
crazy.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But it's supposed to be a
Yeah.
TV series coming.
Yeah. I hope so. Because that shit was amazing. And as
Because
good
they
as it
say
was,
they're
Freaky
saying that's
Tales,
why
I
they
had more
ended.
fun.
Yeah, they're saying that's why it ended the way it did, because there's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a TV series. Only TV series next.
Yeah. Okay. Because so like at the end, 60 years later, an immortal, like an ageless Stack and Mary visit an elderly Sammy. Now the kid is all elderly, and now he's a celebrated blues musician in Chicago. And Stack reveals that Smoke spared him that night at the joint, allowing him to go free under the condition that Sammy would just get to live in peace. And the couple offers Sammy the chance of immortality. They'll let him, they'll turn him, but he declines. And after performing for the couple, he tells them that though that fateful night still haunts him, he said, until the sun went down, it was the greatest day of his life. And Stack agrees, noting that it was the last time he saw Smoke and the last time he saw
And
the
he
sun.
saw the sun. Yeah,
And
yeah. So
so
they
they
both had something
go
to
on.
take away. Yeah, yeah. It was they both lost and they both won at the same time.
Yeah.
And each one
But
gets to tell their side.
he's immortal now. So the show can take place in the 2020s or
In the
whatever. It
future,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
take place. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. That was a good one. Let me see here.
yeah.
But yeah, I know you got to go to work.
Yes, sir. It's about that time. It's 8:30.
Yes, sir. Man, Ahsoka 2, man, no release date yet. I was just looking.
Nothing.
No release date yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. But this is kind of crazy. I don't know. This is kind of crazy real quick here before we wrap it up. X-Men Legend will be in Kevin Feige's firing line after seemingly blowing big Avengers movie secrets. This article may contain spoilers for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, or maybe it won't. This just came out. Avengers Doomsday has only been filming for 2 days, but for all the secrecy around the movie with and Avengers Secret Wars, it seems that someone forgot to brief Marvel Comics X-Men Legends Chris Claremont. No, not the homie. Chris Claremont's the guy that wrote all the fucking 80s X-Men stories that a movie has been made about, right? Days of Future Past, fucking Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, everything.
All the
It's
good
Chris
stuff.
Claremont. All the good stuff. And I guess he spilled the beans. It says about Kevin Feige's hit list, or he's going to be on Kevin Feige's hit list when it comes to keeping mum about what you know. During a panel at the Huntsville Pop Culture Expo, Claremont appeared to spill several spoilers about returning MCU stars, variants, and more. Chris, what the fuck? He said, what we already know for certain is that Robert Downey Jr. will be returning for the Marvel Cinematic Universe to take the role of Dr. Doom. Original Fox X-Men will return to the big screen, including, okay, that's what we know. What did he say? Live stream. Claremont's panel, he appears to add. Hold on. Ian McKellen, James Marsden, Rebecca Allen Cummings, features Loki, Thor, Fantastic Four, there's others announced. In a live stream video, Claremont's panel, he appears to add to this a lot of plausible details about other variants to be played by Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and many other previously unannounced characters. So Chris Evans, we know, is going to play a dark Hydra Cap, like an evil Cap, right? That works for Hydra, that guy. So he also makes claims about the involvement of Wolverine in a death of another major character and numerous other events that have all rung of truth to them. The question is, are these actual details about the movie or just someone playing the room? I don't think Chris Claremont's a fucking chode that he's going to sit there and make up shit. He's an old head. Check out the video below. And yeah,
I think this reporter's reaching, dog. He reaching, man. He's reaching.
Sitting in the only Jewish deli in Tokyo. Drinking, having big, four ice cream scoops.
Bro, this is an hour long. Why doesn't he put the clip?
Because he wants you to watch the whole thing and try to pull out of it what he pulled out of it, which is no.
No, he said
if they do use them as variants, so what? They've done it before. Everybody that he named is somebody that's already in the Marvel 616 at some point or another. So there is an evil dark Cap that works for Hydra in the Marvel 616.
Yeah.
There is a who else did he say?
He said
Let's start. Sorry.
All he said was Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, which we already know. He said Wolverine. He said claims about the involvement of Wolverine in the death of another character.
Going back to the basics, start with the next generation, even with their friends over. Oh my God, really cool selling 7.
What a dick.
There's a scene in the Gambit where.
Man, let it go. Let it go. It's clickbait, dog. It ain't nothing worth it. He put up a whole hour-long video, couldn't put up the clip. Come on.
No, this is the Chris Claremont panel.
I guess he wanted us to watch the whole panel like he did.
Well, this is the panel where he says whatever he says. It's just that whoever made this article wasn't smart enough to put the damn timestamp of where it is. Okay, he did say that. He said around the 9-minute mark. Okay, my bad. I'm an asshole. He actually did fucking say. What a dick. Am I? Here we go. 9 minutes. Let's see.
You do that? Yes. I'm sorry. Has anyone seen the commercial for the 50 superhero 4 supervillain not X-Men movie? Almost sounds like it. You better believe it. Marvel movie that's in process in production now. The Doomsday. No. A positive.
Avengers Doomsday. Just say it.
We've got Robert Downey Jr. playing evil person. That's confusing. And then He's playing 2 other roles. I used to know, but then
So he just said Robert Downey Jr. is playing Victor Von Doom, Iron Man, and 2 other roles. So we're talking about multiversal shit where they're just gonna be like a couple versions of these dudes running around.
Chris Evans is playing Captain America, young, evil Captain America, and Captain Hydra, something that Lord Hydra.
So yeah, shit we already know. Captain Hydra, Captain America, Young Cap. I didn't know about Young Cap.
Or whatever that. It's like, what? Why did they just cast the Avengers, the original Avengers, as all the characters, villains?
But we know this because we know that this next Avengers movie is the same color as the Time Stone. So we know it has something to do with time.
Right.
What's her face is coming back as Widow? Not the Widow. Scarlet. No, not Scarlet Johansson. What's her face? We had the giant rock fall.
Scarlet Witch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Elizabeth. Scarlet Witch.
That's what it's called, right? So she's coming back not only as Scarlet Witch, but a good Scarlet Witch. You know, so I don't know if that means that the Vision's coming back.
Evil Scarlet Witch and a good Scarlet Witch, possibly Vision.
It's like all the original X-Men are coming back.
All the original X-Men coming back.
For 2 weeks, we didn't know that the other would come back. The X is coming back. She's coming back as Phoenix. You know?
Phoenix?
And
So even Chris Claremont thinks it's ridiculous too. I always wondered. I always wondered what like these people in the industry thought about this shit. Like do they think what we think, or are they on some denial shit where they're acting like it's dope, or what?
I think a lot of them think what we think.
They do.
Unless they actually,
Which would just, I'm sitting here thinking, why are you going to do this and make us wait for 3 years for the first X-Men movie? Why don't you just make this the first X-Men movie? Who cares about the Avengers?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
It's only been 20 years. Get it right now. You know. Oh, and the EFF are coming back. Oh wait, they're already back.
I'll keep it a bug, bro. I'm sick of the event. I never was an Avengers fan. Who was an Avengers fan, bro? Everyone.
You'd be surprised.
Nobody was an Avengers fan when the Avengers movies came out. They're Avengers fans now,
surprised.
but nobody was Avengers fans back then, bro. They weren't popular. They sold no comics. They sold no cartoons, no toys. You know what I mean? There was no shows. There was no figures. There was no nothing. Avengers were dead. They were old school. X-Men were the new hotness, and then X-Force and everything from the 90s. Nobody was checking for Avengers, bro. Nobody.
Spawn, everything else, Spawn, Batman, so Man of Steel, all of that was in the 90s. No, you're right. Nobody was checking for the Avengers. You're right.
Avengers were just old news after Chris Claremont, after the 80s, after he, blew everyone's mind with fucking Dark Phoenix Saga, Days of Future Past.
Don't forget West Coast Avengers. Days of Future Past was the best. That was the best thing I had ever read.
Yeah, that was the best.
Back then, that was the best thing I had ever read. It literally blew me away. I used to read those comics over and over again because they were that good. Like I think I wore them out.
Yeah. That's Claremont. He's the OG. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of it all. But yeah, man, that's our show, guys. That's Sixth Element Collectibles, episode 1 jillion. It's about 500, I think, episodes. Appreciate that, Slade, man. We'll see you guys Saturday at 7 p.m. as always, maybe 6:30 actually. Yeah, man, have a good week, and we'll see y'all then. Peace.